which will affect all.
On this difference.
Supposing today something has happened to Satyam, which is a large company. But supposing tomorrow something happens to Reliance, will you be affected even though you're not a shareholder of the company? I think the whole economy will be affected, I'll be affected. So that's what the failure does. Okay, core of the corporate governance is, now these two things are very important, we'll discuss in detail. Independence, disclosure, transparency. These are the core, bedrock of ethics. Now yes, ethics is also a bedrock of the corporate governance. And risk assessment. Probably this was not done in Satya. बाकी सब थे उसमें, independence भी थी, disclosure भी था, transparency थी नहीं थी, I don't know. Ethics maybe were followed by the independent directors. I mean, they were doing their duty, probably they were not knowing what the other persons are doing. Risk assessment, I believe they were lacking in this. Surely.
Even disclosure was not there because obviously they have not disclosed
was
many
wrong.
other things. Or rather they wrongly
From
disclosed.
the point of view of
Or maybe there was a disclosure, there transparency was not there.
Sir, if you ask me, all the five are lacking. I'll tell you why, sir. See, independent director did not enjoy their independence to do even the due diligence which was required to be done on their part.
But they never asked for it. They never asked for it. The point is,
But
they were independent, but they believe. Okay, we'll discuss one issue which is related to independence. I think let's go forward. Then we'll discuss. Then next is risk containment and management. These last two factors have gained a lot of important significance after Satya. So it's basically on judgment, prudence, and wisdom. Now let us discuss each one of it. This is the OECD code. I just go through it. In fact, I've got one more file which contains the entire OECD code of 2004 because it has not been revised after 2004. It runs into 42 pages. I've got a soft copy of that which will be given to you. So you can go through in detail. Okay. It is Organization of Economic Cooperation and Development. It's again an independent kind of a body which is there. And these were the corporate governance committees which were formed from time to time in India and outside also. So many committees.
Have you already discussed this?
You already discussed, okay, forget about it. Now let's discuss independent director. Now this is very, very important. Okay. What is the meaning of independence? Yes, sir. When I say independent director, what do you mean by that? Free. Self-controlling. Oh, that's a very good definition which is given. Self-controlling, self-regulation. Right. So you don't want any mandatory regulation. But supposing there is a law, stop at a red light. Full stop. There is no punishment which is attached to it. Supposing law says stop at a red light, it is a duty of every citizen to stop at a red light. Will anyone stop at a red light?
They will
If
stop
it is
for a
voluntary,
minute, stop for a second, and then when they say I've done my
will say
job.
I've done my part. So therefore, the voluntary mechanism is fine. I fully agree with you. But you require a minimum mandatory requirement also. Mandatory mechanism or minimum mandatory mechanism is required. More than that is self-regulation. So that is what is required. But the meaning of independence, Companies Act does not define. How does the clause 49 define? It says an independent director, it is a long definition, I'll give you a few of them. It says that a director, a person is said to be an independent director if he does not have a material pecuniary relationship with the company, with the promoters, with the first level of officers, and also with any subsidiaries or associates or the joint ventures. Material pecuniary relationship, मतलब पैसे का relation नहीं होना चाहिए, लेन देन नहीं होना चाहिए. He should not be a supplier or customer of the company. If you are a customer, then you have vested interest, so you cannot be independent. He should not have been in the employment of the company during the last 3 years. He should not have been the legal consultant or the statutory auditor for the last 3 years. And he does not have the stake in the company, substantial stake in the company. And what is the definition which is given to the substantial stake? 2%. 2% they treat it as a substantial stake. So independent director वही माना जाएगा जो ये सब चीजें जिसके पास नहीं है.
So supposing one director is director of a company which provides services to a different company, so he cannot become independent director.
He is a director of a company which is providing services to the company. Yes, he cannot. He cannot become a director of such a company. That's there. Now, Companies Act does not define. Look at the new Companies Bill, 2008. Very interestingly, it says they are divided into three categories, three qualifications for the directors. The first thing says that the person to become a director should be the one who, in the opinion of the board of director, is independent and is a person of integrity. So integrity का certificate board देगा.
Without money.
आप नहीं लेके अपना certificate घूम सकते. Now the board has to say that you are integral person. So once your integrity is certified, then only you can become. So that's first call has to be taken by the board. Second says that he has these kind of qualifications. जो clause 49 में है वो सारी की सारी उसमें आ गई. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He must have that. And third,
Who recommends appointment of a
I'll come to that. I've got it in this slide. The third, it says that he must possess the attributes, such attributes as the central government may prescribe. Now it is left to the central government now. Attributes में क्या आएगा? Honesty भी आ जाएगा, सब कुछ आ जाएगा. Who will define? I don't know why the government wants to step into these things.
Minister.
Now the question which he has raised is a very pertinent question. Who should appoint independent director? Now this is the appointment authority will determine whether he is independent or not. That's the one question which remains unanswered. Let us deal with that. Before we'll deal with it later. Let us talk about who appoints independent directors. According to you, who should appoint? Okay.
Board.
Board?
The board can only recommend.
Shareholders should.
Regulatory authority.
Okay, one suggestion is board. Second suggestion is that board should recommend, only shareholders should appoint. Okay, next.
Regulators.
Regulators should appoint. Okay, now you are bringing the government into it. Okay.
Civil,
Third,
etc.
is it a good scenario? The regulators appointing the board of directors. कौन बनेगा independent director? आप guess करिए. Retired bureaucrats,
Yes.
retired judges.
All bureaucrats.
Or bureaucrats.
Mostly bureaucrats.
आप और मैं नहीं बन सकते. प्रोफेशनल को कोई नहीं पूछेगा.
पिछली आईओडी की एक मीटिंग थी इससे पिछले महीने में, तो उसमें कोई आए थे एक्चुअली स्पीकर, उन्होंने बताया था कि एक आर्मी से रिटायर्ड हुए थे कोई ब्यूरोक्रेट्स और उनको आरबीआई का डायरेक्टरशिप दे दिया. तो कहता है नथिंग टू डू विद द फाइनेंस में, तो सिर्फ गन पॉइंट्स देखने वो देखें कि उनको फाइनेंस में आरबीआई में उनको डायरेक्टर बनाया गया.
Correct.
A very small example, Calcutta Stock Exchange.
Yeah.
It was taken over by the administrators.
Right.
And who was appointed to administrate it? An IAS officer who doesn't know anything about the capital market. And all the workings, all the approvals, they all the stock.
Even I think our friend will be here with us. The CMDs of the PSUs are mostly the IAS. He may not speak out, but I'll speak out on his behalf. Are they the businessmen? Do they know about the functioning of the company? Just because they are dealing in the steel ministry, they become the CMDs of the steel companies?
That is what
That's what is happening.
even in the government also. Steel minister.
It's happening in private
No,
industry.
see, as far as the minister is concerned, see, point is, he need not be competent enough to do, because the bureaucracy is working, he has to frame the policies. And he is governed by the parliament. So I think we have got a separate set of systems which are there. Systems are in place. Whether they are working or not, that's a different issue. But the issue is, now who should appoint to retain the independence of the person?
Owner.
So in
If the owner appoints, then
Independent is not
independent. How is
independent.
independent then? Then is
But
independent.
that is what is happening.
See, independence has to be self-imposed. Like.
And
It
what
has
you have
to-
discussed, there is no democracy in the corporate world.
There is an industry body.
Industry body.
That could be a good solution.
No, then you have competition issues. You will say, you know,
But they will recommend only their members only, that's all.
So that is one problem. Secondly,
They
there
will
are
leave out politicians, they will leave out bureaucrats. I mean, I don't say per se abrogation with the bureaucrats, but they should not, the entire body of the board of directors should not be filled with the bureaucrats. Maybe one bureaucrat is good enough, no doubt, because you need vision. You are a politician. Now, supposing if I ask you a question, can a politician become an independent director?
no way.
No way, right?
GSFC, GNFC
No, now I'll take a name, Arun Jaitley. Supposing he becomes as a director, will he be a good director or not?
Of course.
He could be.
yes and no.
It is on case to case basis.
Yes,
You
case
cannot,
basis.
you cannot, even
It
Lalu
varies
Prasad Yadav
from
has
mail to
run
mail.
the railway ministry so well.
Ram Jethmalani, yes.
And what he has done in railway ministry, what he has done,
Freedom.
No, there was a discussion on the first day.
what he has done is that in the goods train which were running, they were taking only 30 bogies or 50 bogies. He said, why not add 20 more? Same time. And efficiency got increased. So he added 20 more. With the same speed, more material reaching, more revenue for the railways. He learned, which nobody else could think of it. I don't know. There are so many specialists on the railway board, they never thought of these things. But he did it. So there is a vision. I mean, we have to accept that vision may be there with any person. That is the main thing. Now the question is, who appoints? I've got a very simple solution. Very, very simple solution. Independent director should be appointed by the shareholders or the members of the company minus the promoters.
Minus the promoter, yes.
In the shareholders meeting, the promoters' vote should not be counted for the appointment of the independent directors. Only then the director will remain independent. That's a simple solution which I have given to the Ministry of Corporate Affairs also. Nobody is listening. Minus promoters.
Voting rights then.
And promoters are very well defined in SEBI. Who are the promoters? Promoters, unke LIs, everything is defined. So we have a lot of
The shareholders should have a panel of names among them.
Oh yes, somebody has to recommend.
Then sir,
Somebody
in
has to
that
recommend.
case, that issue of voting rights, discriminating voting rights, then those issues we may come in with differential voting
Yeah,
rights.
differential
Class-
voting rights, the
Same
provision,
class shareholder.
differential voting right is there in the present Companies Act, but it has not taken effect. Because the another section says that all shareholders have equal voting right. So वो किसी का अभी तक effect नहीं हुआ, वो जो पहला है वो redundant हो गया.
So, who should be the recommending authority, sir, for appointment of
Recommending authority, see the point is anyone can recommend.
MCA
Even the board can recommend. What the board can do is,
Yeah.
supposing the board does it, board makes a panel of 5 people, right?
Sir, how they
And
will
gives it to the shareholders कि भाई इनमें से choose करके 3 appoint कर लो.
In reality, how is it?
Now, you see, we have to devise a mechanism to have a panel. Now, there is no doubt about it, we have to devise a panel. A corporate regulatory body, I mean, a
MCA should
corporate
come
governance
forward.
regulatory body can be there, which should maintain a panel.
The MCA should come forward in this.
MCA should come forward.
It
Or
is the
maybe
high time,
this
sir.
task can be given to independent organization like even IOD or
IOD
any
is
other,
there,
any
yeah.
other organization can do a better job.
So specifically, all these high-flying directors of Satyam,
Yeah.
I'm sure that if they were appointed as independent directors, not by just chance, somebody would have recommended. And in all likelihood, it would have been the same Rajiv
They
Rai.
were, they were actually recommended by the rules.
That's what I'm saying. This is the same Rajiv Rai who must have done it.
Correct.
So this is what in reality happens. It is actually the owners or the promoters who, according to them, will bend to their roots.
But first thing is very important that appointment has to be independent. That's what we have to devise a mechanism. Now, whether they act in an independent fashion or not, that's a second question. First is their appointment should be independent. They should not, it's not that, why I'm saying so, tomorrow the promoters should not be able to throw them out. I'll tell you an instance. I was coming from Chandigarh when I went to give a lecture from Chandigarh to Delhi. I was traveling on a Shatabdi train. One of the promoters who was sitting with me, he was talking on his phone to his secretary, company secretary. He said, अच्छा वो last time यार independent director को ज़्यादा शोर मचा रहा था, ऐसा करो यार अगली AGM में उसको बाहर कर दो. He was talking.
No, but tell me one thing then, another problem is that, see, I have heard a lot of promoters saying that we are not getting directors. So he works hard and gets these people in. If you say that the shareholders have to vote, supposing after they have been elected and after 2 months the independent director says, no, my health is not well for that reason and he doesn't come, how will the board function then?
No,
Then who will work to again get another independent director?
That work has to be done. That's a
So
democratic system.
then again the
Or-
shareholders cannot meet
Or
again and again.
their tenure can be fixed for 1 year
Okay,
or 2 years.
even if you fix for 1 year,
Yeah.
after 6 months, you know, suppose there's a demise, suppose there is something, then you really require to
These
be
are the
replaced.
practical. We are doing the practicality. This can happen anywhere.
Then how do you, if it
But
is going to be the
supposing
shareholders who have to,
if I'm appointed as independent director in Reliance, I will not resign.
I'm talking
Unless
about-
I find something bad in it. But you see, everyone would like to be associated with a large public.
Sir, before Satyam happened, before January 7th, I'm sure if you were, if somebody would have asked you for Satyam, you or me would have also joined. We do
That's
not
what
know.
I'm saying, yeah.
So Reliance today, what you say, is the best company there, and so that's the way things are.
So these are the practical difficulties that they will always be there.
Satyam, what is considered to be a one-off case, like
And they get paid.
cannot.
No. What I'm saying is, in case shareholders are going to appoint, in case shareholders appoint, and then after saying this guy is not coming or not, wanting to be, he doesn't want to continue, then who will actually?
Then again, one more time that
the board
process
is not
has to
there.
So that process has to be gone through again. That's the only
You have
solution.
to undergo the process again.
That can happen in the employees also. Suppose you appoint 10 employees and tomorrow he leaves, you cannot have any control. You
But
can't
you-
stop any employees. So
you
that's,
have
a,
this
that's
guy
an
working-
ongoing process. I don't think there is any wrong in this. Anyway, are these independent directors, they are policemen in civil clothes?
To some extent, yes.
To some
To
extent.
some extent, yes.
They should be here like that.
They should.
Really, that things are going on.
After Satyam, we feel so.
Probably
At least
they
we will
also
say
don't
no.
realize.
Actually, to my mind, if you look at this scheme of the things, there should be role models. They are role models. They have to do their duty. They have to work with due diligence, good faith. All these things are there. But the issue is, are they there for doing the business?
I think their job is to verify rather than police.
Correct. Monitor.
Monitoring.
To monitor rather than to enter into day-to-day affairs or to police. There's no policing. Let the management what they want to do, let them do, because if you don't give a free hand, but then keep a watch. They are a watchdog.
Watchdog.
You have to keep a watch. If you find that there is something contradictory or contrary it is going, then what you have to do is you have to ask a report from the management why it is happening. Don't rush straight away to the media. Ask for the report. If it is a small thing, get a remedial action in place. See if it is working. If it does not work or if the information is not shared with you, then act as a whistleblower. Blow the whistle, but not at the first instance. So you are not as an independent director, you are not this. Degree of independence is that what
So
matters.
one question here.
Yes.
What happens to a whistleblower in this case?
What happens to?
The whistleblower in this case.
I think you have asked a very pertinent question because in
Same
India,
thing
what has
what
happened,
happened
3
in
whistleblowers, all are gone.
You will not call him in the next.
Yes, we need a law to protect them.
Next AGM में उसको निकाल
सब निकालने
Next
से
AGM
कुछ
में उसके ऊपर blow करेगा सब लोग।
Physical
बता
distance
देंगे।
खत्म, physical distance खत्म हो जाता है उसका। So that is one of the problems which are there. Okay, degree
So
of
isn't
independence.
it better that independent authority is formed and the independent directors are impaneled and their remuneration the company has to put into that independent authority?
Yes.
And the remuneration should be paid by this independent
Correct.
authority and he will enjoy independent position.
No, I think as far as the remuneration is concerned, I've got one issue in this, but it should not be paid by any independent authority. It should be paid by the company alone. But remuneration to be decided by independent authority. Paid by the company because they're working for the company, nobody else will pay. Who will pay for them?
No, the
Only the
company
company.
should deposit it with this independent authority.
I think that will be a very, because supposing everyone deposited 1% of its profit, some companies in losses, they will not deposit. Then one independent director says, I'm working for a large company, I should get 50 lakh rupees. Other one say 20 lakh, he has contributed only 40 lakh, why 50 lakhs to be paid? So that will
So
create
who
lot
will,
of problems.
who will pay the administrative cost for all this?
Yeah.
That will be another issue.
Now should independent director possess business intellect?
Yes, of course.
To a limited extent, and he must know about the business also. Because ultimately, though if they're not there to do business, but still he must know, have a business intellect. Freedoms, yes, he has got a freedom to ask for information. In fact, if you read the scheme of the Companies Act and the SEBI, directors can call even the employees of the company and ask for the information. And directors are entitled to inspect the books of account under the Companies Act also. And they can always say to the chairman or whatever the person is there that we want in the next board meeting the head of finance, head of purchase, head of so and so internal audit, head of HR must be present. We will ask questions. Or we want these reports.
At the board meeting.
At the board meeting. They have got freedoms to do these things. So there are a lot of freedoms which they enjoy. But these freedoms of course are not unfettered. There are certain restrictions. Okay, remuneration. How independent director should be remunerated to maintain independence? Now this is again question because now our friend said if he is getting remuneration from the company, is he independent? Now that's a big question which is asked. I'll ask you a simple question. Auditor of a company is treated as an independent auditor, statutory auditor. He gets remuneration from the company, still he is independent. So therefore a person can remain still independent even though he is getting money from the company. But only thing is who should decide, not the promoters, but maybe a separate committee, a remuneration committee, or maybe an independent directors or whatever. I mean, we'll have to find out the modality, which is not there. Today, the remuneration is decided by the board of directors. Today, the remuneration is decided by the board of directors. Now, to what extent this remuneration can be given? As per the scheme of the company, that independent directors, A, they get the sitting fees. B, they can be entitled to 1% to the maximum extent of 1% of the net profit of the company as commission. This is the provision. Now imagine 6,000 crore profit of Reliance. 1% comes to how much? 60 crores. 6 directors. Each director gets 10 crore. Does he remain independent?
It's more independent. More independent.
Will become more dependent.
Provided he has got assured a tenure, provided he has got assurance that promoter will not terminate it. That's the question. Otherwise, if he is getting say 10 crores from the company and the promoter says please do this, otherwise I'll throw you out, he'll say yaar mere to 10 crore ke aadle sir. But if promoter has no say, then of course he remains independent. So all these issues are interlinked actually. You cannot say that only one thing is applicable and other things are not applicable. So to maintain independence, really the mindset has to change. You can lead a person to the board of directors, but can you make him think? He has to think on his own. So he has to apply his own principles. It depends upon the attitude, and attitude determines the altitude. So that's what is required for the independent directors. Any other issue which you want to discuss threadbare in independent directors? No? I think, can we stop here now? Is the lunch ready? I don't know.